My younger sister and I were adopted at the same time. One family is a billionaire and the other is a salaried white-collar worker. My sister knelt down and begged me, saying that she couldn't bear the hardship and begged me to choose the working-class family first. But later I succeeded in my studies and became a couple with the school hunk. The rich family went bankrupt because of my sister's extravagance. But my sister was so angry that she drove her car and killed me. How can you live? Why do you have the right to be with my male god? When we woke up again, we were reborn on the day of adoption. My sister rushed to the white-collar family first and shouted, "Daddy." I smiled at her. This dad is not a good thing. Sister, are you ready to fall into hell? Dad. I opened my eyes again. I saw my sister Jing. Jing couldn't wait to throw herself into Njibai's arms, the man who adopted me in my previous life. A smug smile appeared on her face, as if saying that she would definitely beat me this time. She even tried to sow discord, so that in Jibai I would completely give up the idea of adopting me. My sister told me that my father was too poor and she liked rich people to be her father. She said she wanted to be the daughter of a rich family. But I think my father is. I will definitely feel love here. I can indeed feel love, but this love is so heavy that it is suffocating. And Jibai looked at me with a sinister look, and I trembled as if I was under stress. The rich man next to me didn't show much expression, but just waved his hand to signal me to come over. It didn't matter to him who it was, he just ceded the title of a philanthropist after adoption. An adopted daughter who was face-saving, dignified and generous. In the last life, I was chosen by the rich man because of my excellent grades. But my sister was unwilling to accept it. She knelt down and cried and begged me to give her the opportunity, considering that my sister was young and we were sisters. I give her the opportunity. I never thought that in just over a decade my sister would bankrupt the richest family. But I had an admission letter from a prestigious school, a successful career, and was with the man she loved. For a while, I was in the limelight which hurt her eyes. Driven by jealousy, my sister ran me over and killed me. God has eyes. Let me live again, this way. I will definitely grasp my life well. As soon as I got into the luxury car, my sister sent a message. Jing Shiyu, this time it's my turn to gain both fame and fortune. I will be Fu X. Yuan's Finki. Just wait. You will be in debt of hundreds of millions and have nothing. Before I could reply, she withdrew. Although I was reborn, my mind has not changed, and I am still so stupid. She doesn't think that if the roles are reversed, the results will be reversed, right? All the achievements I have made are achieved by myself, sitting in a well and watching the sky, waiting for good things like pie in the sky to happen, is simply stupid and ridiculous. In my previous life, I gave the rich man to my sister and went to a working-class family. Although I was not rich, at least I had enough food and clothing, and a stable family, and I was very satisfied. But I didn't expect that in less than half a year the nature of the working man in Jibai was exposed. He is a pervert. I was spied on, controlled, forced to wear clothes I didn't want to wear, and even in the end he packaged me as a Barbie and gave it to his customers. I had been living in the shadow. It was not until I was admitted to the ideal university and stayed away from that devil that I felt a little warmth in the world. But my sister actually took me back to the pre-liberation period. But fortunately, this time, it was no longer me who was tortured by the devil. Seeing my first-place grades in the school every year, the rich man was very satisfied and sent me to the best private high school in the city. This high school is mostly children of dignitaries and nobles, and the teaching staff and educational strength are the best. But in the previous life, after my sister entered a wealthy family, she felt that money would naturally support her, and there was no need for too many formalities. She felt that etiquette courses were boring, and she drove away one etiquette teacher after another, and the rich simply ignored her. Therefore, when she entered school later, she was similar to Li Lao entering the Grandview Garden. She had only a vague understanding of the etiquette of the nobles, so she made a lot of jokes. As a result, many noble children disliked her and didn't even look at her. And Fu Yuan also appeared at this time. He liked to help others, and he helped her drive away a few hooligans who tried to bully her. And my sister also fell in love with him because of this. But I am different. I came here to change my fate. Therefore I studied etiquette rules hard, and in less than a month, I had already mastered the style of a rich lady from aristocratic families. Even the harsh etiquette teacher felt that I was naturally noble. The father on the rich list was very happy and immediately gave me a card with 2 million yuan. He even promised that if I was still among the top in this school, he would give me 200,000 yuan a month for living expenses. 200,000 yuan a month. I worked like a cow and a horse for a year and couldn't make any money. As expected, the happiness of rich people is beyond my imagination. I accepted it with peace of mind. I want to accumulate original capital to pave the way for my future. In my previous life, under the torture of my adoptive father, I tried my best to climb up in an attempt to get rid of him. But because I had no resources, I took many detours and wasted a lot of, so that I didn't gradually gain a foothold in my career until I was 30 years old. This time, with the support of the rich, my road will be much easier. On the day of enrollment, I met Jing Shijin again. She was still as arrogant as in her previous life. Jing Shi, you see, I am more popular than you ever were. I have all the preferences that you don't have. I know what she is talking about. In my previous life, I stayed in an ordinary high school until graduation. In this life, in Jubei, I actually tried every means to arrange for her to enter the aristocratic middle school. Naturally, she felt that she was thousands of times better than me. But she didn't know that in Jubei I wanted to arrange me in the previous life. At that time I was concerned about the expensive tuition fees, so I rejected his proposal. Afterwards I found out that he just wanted me to have more contact with the boss's son so that he could be promoted smoothly. Because he failed to get promoted, he blamed everything on me, and I suffered inhuman torture for a long time. This time I want to see if she can withstand Njubei's anger. I know her temper. She doesn't want to be inferior to me. She wants to see my miserable situation in person. But she made a wrong wish. I was dressed gorgeously, and followed by 2 bodyguards, which was in sharp contrast to the cheap clothes she wore. She was so angry that her teeth itched, and her face twisted together, but soon she laughed out loud. Jingxiu, you won't be so proud for long. I naturally knew what she meant. I never thought of living off the land and being a rich lady. I just wanted to use the rich as a springboard. I am not a daughter, I am a wild rose fluttering in the wind. Unfortunately, we were assigned to the same class. I saw each other everywhere, which made me feel uncomfortable. She was like from this point of view, she was quite similar to the peeping Tom and Jibei. There were only 2 seats left in the class. One was next to Fuxiu Yuan, and the other was in the last row, next to the trash can. Before the teacher finished speaking, Jing Shijin rushed to sit next to Fuxiu Yuan. This impetuousness also attracted the teacher's dissatisfaction. At the same time, many girls in the class who had a crush on Fuxiu Yuan also cast hostile eyes on her. But I didn't care, walked to the seat next to the trash can and sat down safely. I thought very clearly that I had to live for myself in this life. Others are unreliable. Only the money in your hand is the most reliable. But it is obvious that Jing Shijin didn't think so much. She was devoted to Fuxiu Yuan. Every day she diligently bought breakfast for him, fetched water and delivered water, wishing to stick behind him all the time. Fuxiu Yuan turned a deaf ear to her, and even to the food she sent into the trash can when he was angry. But Jing Shijin's acting skills are good, and she took out the lunchbox with red eyes. She looked aggrieved and unyielding, just like a little white flower. Are you Chen? I worked hard to make these this morning. I know that young masters like you eat all kinds of delicacies. But after all, this is also my intention. If you really don't like it, you can tell me. Why waste my intention? As she spoke, her tears kept falling like beads from a broken string, and people around her whispered. But Fuxiu Yuan just sneered. Don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. I've said it 800 times. But you're still pestering me. Does your so-called love mean that you can keep trying to please me, or even use moral kidnapping to force me to obey? Excuse me, your love is too terrible. Don't even want to have anything to do with you in my life. Jing Shijin, it's your job to cook hot. I've never asked you to bring it to me. After I clearly refused, you still pestered me. I've seen a lot of tricks like you. Don't always treat others as fools. This is not a flower of Gowling, it's just my mouth. Fuexayuyuan always looks like a stranger who doesn't want to get close to him. This is the first time I've seen him get so angry. Seeing Jing Shijin being defeated, several girls who have always disliked her also laughed out loud. Jing Shijin couldn't sit still anymore and looked at Fuexayuyuan in disbelief. They all had a problem with Jing Shijin. Seeing that I, the daughter of the richest man, had also joined them, they no longer had any scruples. I ignored her. Arguing with such a person was simply a waste of life. In the previous life, I reminded her to improve herself and achieve her own great career. But she didn't listen and thought I was jealous of her. She thought I was jealous of her having billions of assets without working hard, and that she could go to a good school and have a bright future. So when she went bankrupt, I gave her 500,000 yuan for the sake of sisterly love. But she hated me and thought I was giving her alms from a high position. A rotten tree cannot be carved. After Fuexayuyuan clearly rejected Jing Shijin, she began to make changes, and her clothes, speech and behavior were exactly the same as in my previous life. I laughed secretly. She wouldn't think that Fuexayuyuan liked me in the previous life because of my appearance. But fortunately, her attention was all on Fuexayuyuan. Without her interruption, I can devote myself to study. Although I was the top student in the province in my previous life. But after all, more than 10 years have passed, and many knowledge points are a little vague, and it is difficult to pick up again. As expected, I ranked 100th in the first month's monthly exam. Jing Shijin laughed at me. Jing Shiyu, you are a top student in that broken county high school, but you are nothing in this place where there are hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Seeing my results, the rich father was a little disappointed, but he still comforted himself, saying that I have not yet adapted to the aristocratic life. I don't want to disappoint him, not to mention that I still have to rely on him as a springboard. So, I asked the rich father to hire a tutor directly. He agreed without thinking, and praised me for my ambition. After more than 2 months of getting along, my relationship with the rich father has become better and better, and he even mentioned me to his partners. But Jing Shijin was miserable. The classmates at school didn't like her and simply treated her as nothing. I didn't care. This kind of life is actually very difficult to endure. After returning home, she gradually discovered that her new father was not right. For several consecutive days she came to school with panda eyes. She finally couldn't stand it anymore and stopped me after school. Jing Shiyu, are you also reborn? Why is this happening? Did you know that Njibei is a pervert? I looked at her like a fool. That was the path she chose, and she had to bear the consequences herself. Jing Shijin was helpless and furious, but after seeing my expression of ignorance, a hint of viciousness flashed in her eyes. I remember that look, exactly the same as when she hit me to death in the last life. Good that you are not reborn. No one can block my way. No one. Her crazy look made me think she was crazy. I was afraid that she would go crazy the next second and fight with my body. While she was not paying attention, I quickly slipped into the car. In order to win Fuexayuan's attention, Jing Shijin participated in the basketball game. Juru Oxin, the last school beauty, participated in the basketball game as a substitute. With her superb skills and beauty, she became popular and became Fuexayuan's rumored girlfriend. For this reason, Jing Shijin worked hard to practice her skills, but still made no progress. Lin Heng, the main force of the former college basketball team, came back every day to complain to everyone. What kind of person is Jing Shijin? She doesn't have the diamond drill, but she still takes the porcelain job. She really wants our class to lose. I interrupted at the right time. Why is she not playing well? Lin Heng saw someone talking to him, and the chatterbox was opened immediately. She plays basketball so badly. She can't find the ball to pass the ball, and she can't shoot the ball. She also wants us to pass the ball to her. If I don't pass the ball, she will cry to the teacher and say that we isolate her. Hearing his complaints, I sympathized with these students who love basketball. As the game was approaching, The PE teacher saw that Jing Shijin was not good enough and was afraid that she would cry and complain again. So he simply found another substitute. Seeing the substitute Juru Oxen on the court, Jing Shijin was not calm at all. Seeing the favor of the teammates and teachers to her, Jing Shijin was jealous and crazy. Just after the first half, Juru Oxen had an accident. She slipped and fell down the stairs and fainted on the spot. One of the players squatted in the toilet because of diarrhea and never came out. The game was in chaos, and Jing Shijin immediately applied for a substitute. The PE teacher was hesitant, but now our class is 5 points ahead of the opponent, which is a great opportunity. He could only let her go on the court under great pressure. As a result, Jing Shijin made continuous mistakes and the team fell behind the opponent by 4 points. The PE teacher was so angry that his face turned black. After the game, Jing Shijin complained first. I think someone must be targeting us, otherwise how could we lose so badly? The teacher became suspicious and immediately retrieved the surveillance. In the surveillance video, there was a girl of similar size to me pouring lubricant on the stairs and adding stuff to the team members, drinking water. Suddenly, the crowd was excited, and an angry team member threw a basketball straight at me. I dodged it. Jing Shijin laughed secretly and accused me righteously. Jing Shiyu, I know you don't like my close contact with Fuex. Yuan, but you can't use such a dirty trick. He put such a big hat on me right away. I was very calm, looking around at everyone, not dodging or hiding. Besides, after the first half, I was called away by the principal. He can prove the whole process. If you really don't believe it, call the police. Hearing the word, call the police, Jing Shijin was immediately frightened and said magnanimous. Jing Shiyu, don't lie to everyone. The principal is busy with all kinds of things. Why would he look for you? We're all classmates, and we don't want to make a big deal. As long as you apologize to everyone sincerely, we will forgive you. School uniforms. Her uniform. Yes, I am not the only one with a ponytail. How can you conclude that it is me? I curled my lips and sneered. I need your forgiveness, but she thinks so, which does not mean that everyone thinks so. Lin Hang was the first to stand up. This has already caused intentional injury. I think we should call the police directly. At least give Zhu Ruoxin justice. Lin Hang is the main player of the team, and his words are more convincing. Everyone unanimously decided to call the police. Jing Shijin was so angry that her face was distorted. She said to everyone fiercely, we are all classmates. Didn't you give Jing Shiyu a chance to correct herself? Fu Xiyuan saw her furious look and said coldly, it's to give you a chance. I just checked with the principal. Shang was indeed with the principal all the time and there was no chance to do it. But I remember that you, Jing Shijin, went out with Shuru Oxen during the halftime break. Although you put the lubricant in Jing Shiyu's locker and wiped the fingerprints on the lubricant, it's a pity that you seem to have forgotten to wipe the surface of the locker. You are the only one in the whole school with a heart-shaped palm print, right? Jing Shijin was stunned. In order to appear special, she had boasted about her special palm print. But now it has become evidence to expose her. Seeing that the matter was exposed, Jing Shijin took out a knife and put it against my neck. The cold voice echoed in my ears. Jing Shiyu, how about we reset it again? I'm not satisfied with this life. She's just crazy. The teacher didn't dare to act trashly when she saw her like this, but just advised her to discuss it. I've finally come to this point today. How can I let her ruin it again? After the painful lesson in the last life, I learned fighting early in this life. He exerted force suddenly, and killed her with an elbow strike. Fu Axai. Jing Shijin's parents were called. For the sake of its own reputation, the school decided to deal with it privately. And Jibea rushed over, apologized with a smile, and settled the matter at a cost of 200,000. But Jing Shijin was miserable. Jing Shijin didn't come to class for a week, which should be related to Jibea. And Jibea is not only a pedophile but also a perverted sadist. Whenever he is unhappy, he will take me out on him. As expected, Jing Shijin came to school the next day with her arms tightly covered. She still did not give up Fu X. Yuan. She deliberately showed the bruises on her arms and put on a pitiful look. But after what happened last time, none of her classmates liked her. They all said that she was asking for trouble. Fu Xiuyuan was even more disgusted with him. Although Jing Shijin did not get Fu Xiuyuan's love, she attracted the sympathy of Zhang Hao, the son of another wealthy family. I thought Jing Shijin had someone in her heart and would concentrate on being Fu Xiuyuan's dog. Unexpectedly, Zhang Hao just bought her 2 bottles of blood stasis medicine, and she announced that she was with him. She was said to be fickle, but Fu Xiuyuan was almost her obsession. She was said to love Fu Xiuyuan deeply, but she turned around and had an affair with someone else. I really don't know what's going on in her mind, but I'm not interested in her shit, as long as it doesn't bother me. I can ignore it. Time passed by little. I spent my 18th birthday peacefully, and my rich father gave me a Maserati. My fraternal sister, however, didn't have it so easy. And Jibe, Alex girls. Once his sister came of age, he liked her, but not so much. To be precise, he would play more. As I became the top student in the grade again, my rich father was also very happy. In order to celebrate, he specially booked a 5-star hotel and entertained everyone. I also took the opportunity to make a lot of connections. But I didn't expect that Jing Shijin would also come to this banquet. She came with Zhang Hao. In the eyes of discerning people, she was just a temporary pet newly found by young Master Shang. But she didn't think so. She walked towards me with a confident look. The little white dress she wore to disguise her purity was particularly dazzling. She didn't care about the face of the host family at all, and mocked me. Jin Shiyu, why don't you marry into a good family? When will these little achievements be comparable to the billions of wealth that others have worked hard for several lifetimes? I looked up and looked at her. Billions of wealth will be squandered, but the achievements will not. You can make money again if you lose it, but if the tree you are clinging to falls, then you will have nothing. Xu, hearing my meaningful remarks, she instantly understood that I was also reborn. Why, Jing Shiyu, don't think that you can always be glorious by relying on this rich man. You will still have nothing in the future. When I become the young lady of the Zhang family, I may be able to help you. After all, we are sisters. I thought she would understand from the predicament in her previous life. Other people's wealth and achievements cannot be truly obtained only through active efforts, and can only follow you for a lifetime. Seeing that she was so stubborn, I couldn't argue with her. It's a waste of time to reason with someone who is not on the same level as you. As soon as the photo of Zhang Hao and Jing Shijin attending the dinner together was released, it caused an uproar. One is that Zhang Hao looks good, even in the entertainment industry. His appearance is one of the best, so there are many fans of his appearance on the internet. The other part is the rich children who like to watch the fun and don't mind the trouble. They all focus on Jin Shijin. The fans of appearance angrily called her a stinking bitch and a vixen. The rich children all know that Zhang Hao plays with women, and women around him are like clothes, and they will not stay for more than a month. There is no woman who is openly together, and Jing Shijin is the first one who is so blatantly partial. But they don't understand why Zhang Hao chose a woman with no family background, and no education. Therefore many people treated him as a joke, saying that he was a prodigal who turned over a new leaf and became a rich man's lover. This made Zheng's father and mother very angry. When the news came out, Zheng's father was so angry that he went to the hospital. He even threatened that if Zhang Hao did not break up with Jing Shijin, he would leave the family property to his illegitimate son. Zheng's mother naturally refused. She had been calculating for half her life to get to where she is now. How could she let a yellow-haired girl ruin her good fortune? The next day she went straight to Jing Shijin and threw her a check for 10 million. Jing Shijin had been planning for so long, from Fu Xiuyuan to Zhang Hao. Isn't it just to live a stable life as a rich wife? 10 million. Just like sending away beggars. Having lived 2 lives, Jing Shijin is not a fuel-saving lamp. He took out her pregnancy test report directly. and Zhang's mother was so angry that her eyes went black and she fainted. But after Zhang Hao learned that his parents were angry and sick, he just kept blaming his mother, asking why she went to find Jing Shijin and why she repeatedly asked him to give up everything he liked. Jing Shijin was still fantasizing about becoming a rich wife and living a carefree life, but she never thought that Bei also knew it. He knew that his prey had an affair with someone else, and he was mad with hatred. He couldn't touch the adulterer because of his wealth, but he could touch Jing Shijin. On a dark and windy night, Jing Shijin was put in a sack and taken away. She cried desperately, but it didn't work. Finally, she fainted after being injected. When she opened her eyes again, and Bei stared at her fiercely, holding her pregnancy test report in his hand. "Didn't you say you wouldn't do it next time? Why did you betray me? Why did you get pregnant with someone else's child?" Jing Shijin usually got locked up in a small dark room when she made a mistake. She had never seen such a scene before, and she was immediately panicked. She trembled and said in a voice as calm as possible, "Dad, you misunderstood. The child. The child is not his. It's yours." And Jibei's eyes became clear after hearing this. "Are you telling the truth?" Seeing that Jibei had lost his frightening momentum, Jing Shijin seemed to have caught a piece of driftwood in the water. "Yes, that's right. The doctor said the child is 3 months old. But Jiang Hao stayed abroad for a month 3 months ago, so the child must be yours, Jinking. I did this just because I wanted our child to live a carefree and prosperous life." Jing Shijin explained with tears in her eyes. And then Jibei actually believed it. He still couldn't bear to hurt Jing Shijin, his pet. "Jing Shijin is different from me. I am dull, fearful, and unwilling to admit defeat, which is a hard bone to chew." But Jing Shijin said all kinds of sweet words to him, cared for him meticulously, and held him in the palm of his hand. How could he not like it? Fu Xiu Yuan, who was following me and monitoring everything, exclaimed. I put down the headphones in my hand and looked him in the eyes. "Okay, everything you want is here. You have seen my sincerity. I wish us a happy cooperation. In my previous life, I didn't dare to contact men because of Jibei's shadow. On the way home from get off work, I met a perverted stalker, and the long-forgotten memory was suddenly opened. The fear of Jibei came again, and I was so scared that I didn't know where to go. Fu Xiu appeared and saved me at the critical moment. He learned about my situation at the police station and sympathized with me. He kept helping me. We fell in love with each other and finally got together. If it weren't for him, my inner demon might have always controlled me. So I hope to help him in this life again. In the previous life, Fu Xiu also told me everything about himself. He was the illegitimate son of the Zhang family. Jing Shijin's playboy Shang Hao is his half-brother. But since Yu Yuan was born, the blood father has never cared about them. His mother was a college student who worked part-time, but was favored by Zhang's father. Although his mother refused repeatedly, she was still forcibly possessed by Zhang's father, which has always been her mother's heart knot. She died of depression when Fu Xiu Yuan was in elementary school. Fu Xiu Yuan was adopted by the Fu family with his excellent mind. Over the years, he has always wanted to avenge his mother. In the last life we worked together. But because the Shan group had a strong foundation, it took us 8 years to acquire it. I want to stand behind him without scruples and be his solid backing like he did back then. There was a commotion in the headphones, and only a short scream, and the sound stopped abruptly. Fu Xiu and I looked at each other and drove to Jibei's house in the suburbs. At this time, the door of the house was blocked, and Jibei was carried out on a stretcher and his life and death were unknown. Jing Shijin seemed to be fine and was still being interviewed by reporters. We were far away, which was convenient for observation and concealment. But she seemed to have discovered it. She stared at our car behind the tree, revealing a strange smile. I got goosebumps when I saw him, while Fu Xiu comforted me softly. Don't worry, evil people will be punished. It's not that there is no retribution. It's just that the time has not come yet. The next day, the headlines were all occupied by Jing Shijin, and Jibei and Zhang Hao. I thought they were madly criticizing opponents, But I didn't expect it was madly criticizing teammates. They are destroying themselves, and we just wait to reap the benefits. The video of Jing Shijin's interview went viral on the internet. She wiped her tears and accused and Jibea. A lot of the malice against her these days was made up by her just to gain traffic. At the end of the video she said, "I want to thank someone in particular who gave me a ray of light when I was in the darkest time of my life. We also have the fruit of love, Shanghao. We will always be together." The image of the tenacious little white flower was revealed, and netizens all spoke up for her. Things have come to this point. Even if the Shang family no longer wants to recognize her as their daughter-in-law, they can only take Jing Shijin back to the Zhang family to stabilize the situation. Jing Shijin's incident has a great social impact. Seeing that the Zhang family did not shirk their responsibilities, netizens also spontaneously supported them, and even the stock price rose several times. Jing Shijin also went from being an unknown ordinary person to becoming a popular internet celebrity. Therefore, she showed off to me for a long time brand name clothes and brand name bags, and even the soup made by Zhang's mother to nourish the fetus. She was bullied by me in school, and even fought with her for Zhang Hao. She was in the limelight on the internet, and many brainless fans ran to my commentariat to spray me, and even my father's company was implicated. The college entrance examination is approaching, and in order not to distract me, the rich father did not mention it. I still practice out from flex, if others don't offend me, I won't offend others. In this case, I will let her have enough fun. I contacted the entertainment reporter directly, since she wanted to use public opinion to pressure me. How could I not give her this opportunity? Seeing so many reporters contacting her, Jing Shijin felt guilty, because most of these things were fabricated by her. But when she saw so many fans who supported her without thinking, she became more determined. She accused me on the internet and even exposed that I had taken away her adoption qualification for money and joined the whole class to isolate her. I didn't care about all the accusations. Many classmates who knew the truth defended me on the internet, but were criticized by her brainless fans. Even some classmates' family business was more or less affected. Jing Shijin's life is indeed quite comfortable. Now she is also a contributor to the Zhang family. Zhang's father is a shrewd businessman. He knew that Jing Shijin was useful, so he wanted to squeeze her dry, so he treated her better and better. Zhang's mother is not a pushover, but she can't say anything because of her husband's support. At this time, an anonymous voice comment caused an uproar again. That, the child is yours, not Zhang Hao's. This voice comment was like a thunderbolt, catching the Zhang family and Jing Shijin off guard. Many netizens asked Jing Shijin to take out the paternity test, and Jing Shijin's face turned pale. The child was originally in Jibei's eyes. How could she take it out? Seeing that Jing Shijin had not made any move, the doubts in the hearts of netizens became even heavier. And Zhang's mother didn't like Jing Shijin in the first place, so she took the opportunity to doctor her out and humiliated her. Little bitch, your three-legged cat's tricks can't turn flowers in front of me. Wouldn't it be better to accept the check at the beginning? Now it's good that you have nothing. Jing Shijin knelt down to beg Zhang Hao, but Zhang Hao changed his usual attitude of loving her to death. He broke up directly. Yes, no matter how much love, they can't beat that green hat. The building built on the trust of others collapsed. The classmates who were criticized before also came out to attack Jing Shijin. The one who attacked the most was Xu Ruoxin. Xu Ruoxin wanted to apply for a dance school, but now her leg is broken. Even after recovery, it will still have an impact. She wanted to eat Jing Shijin alive. Jing Shijin, who had no backing, lived a very hard life. She didn't go to school anymore. Not to mention that she couldn't afford the high tuition fees. Even her current classmates hated her to the core. Soon, she disappeared. When I saw her again, she was working as a waitress in a restaurant. After just a few months, she seemed to have aged 10 years. The child she was once proud of, no one knew where he was. And his belly was flat. And Jibei owed a large amount of foreign debt to loan sharks before, but now he is in jail. The loan sharks found Jing Shijin and wanted to cut her off if she didn't pay it back. Under the pressure of paying off the debt, she had no choice but to go out to work. At that time I had successfully won the title of provincial champion and celebrated in the restaurant. My glamorous appearance was in sharp contrast to her embarrassment. Hatred appeared on her numb face again. She went crazy, overturned the dining table, and rushed towards me with a fruit knife from somewhere. Her figure gradually overlapped with that of the previous life. Jing Shiyu, why, I have obviously chosen an ordinary family. Why didn't I become the provincial champion? Why didn't I get Fuexai Yuan? The excellent results were obtained by doing questions day and night to consolidate the knowledge points. And I Fuexai Yuan and I are equal in every aspect, so we can appreciate each other. Everything I have is not determined by my background. I'm good enough to deserve everything. Unfortunately, Jing Shijin will not understand this truth, and she has always been thinking about getting something for nothing. When she was busy with Fuexai Yuan and quarreling with the girls who liked Fuexai Yuan, I was studying hard for my grades. When she was obsessed with her online image and slandered me and my classmates, Fuexai Yuan and I formed a united front and faced the outside world together. And at the same time we gained the favor of many classmates. There are obviously choices in life, but Jing Shijin always chooses such a rubbish. I can only blame herself. After the last threat, my rich father had already made all preparations for me. Before she could rush to 5 meters in front of me, 2 strong and tall bodyguards on the left and right had already captured Jing Shijin. How could her weak body resist? I squatted down and looked down at her with contempt. Why you want to restart again? But I can tell you that even if you restart thousands of times, the result will be the same. Because people who don't work hard will eventually lose miserably. Jing Shijin was taken away. The original sentence of several years was changed to 10 years because Yuru Oxen's parents found all kinds of illegal acts of her. As for the Shang family, I thought that life would be better if I threw away Jing Shijin, this hot potato. Unexpectedly, they were exposed for tax evasion, one after another. And Zhang's father and Zhang Hao often went in and out of late-night clubs. Zhang Hao was just 19 years old, but he already had 3 illegitimate children. Zhang's father even had as many as 20 illegitimate children. After a series of scandals were exposed, netizens who originally sympathized with Zhang Hao for being cuckolded immediately turned against him. I thought it was miserable to have Jing Shijin, but I didn't expect that people from the same family would stick together. I felt sorry for the Zhang family, but I didn't expect that the old and the young would play so extravagantly. As the stock price plummeted, the investors that the Zhang family had originally agreed to invest with fled overnight, and even the mainstay of the company jumped ship. A group of illegitimate children came to the door to claim their relatives in an attempt to get the last piece of the pie. Fuexai Yuan brought a large amount of investment and found Zhang's father, revealed his identity, and expressed his willingness to help the Zhang family. Zhang's father was naturally overjoyed and held a press conference overnight to announce that Fuexai Yuan was the lost youngest son. Fuexai Yuan's ability is obvious to all. In just 1 month, the company stopped its lost momentum. Zhang's father thought he was lucky and could survive this crisis safely. But he didn't know that everything was under Fuexai Yuan's control. Fuexai Yuan and I worked together from inside and outside to empty the last bit of funds of the Zhang family, and took the opportunity to make a lot of connections, and persuaded old employees to resign and come to our company. When Zhang's father wanted to swipe his card to spend again, he found that there was no money in his account. He finally realized that something was wrong. But at this time the company was just an empty shell, and even the last roll of toilet paper in the company was taken away by us. Zhang's father wanted to call the police, but he was taken away instead. During this period, Fuexai Yuan collected evidence of Zhang's corruption and tax evasion and put it in the mayor's office, killing his relatives for the sake of justice. He also became a good citizen. Zhang's mother wanted to flee abroad with her son, but was blocked by Zhang Hao's former lovers halfway. Most of them were deceived girls, and they joined together to beat up the two. When the police arrived, Zhang Hao had already been admitted to the ICU, and Zhang's mother was not much better. The people who had been bullied by her went to her son's war every day to make trouble. After this, Zhang Hao did not die peacefully. After learning that her son was gone, Zhang's mother went crazy, wandering the streets, living by picking trash cans, being bullied by beggars, and finally even sold abroad. If Jing Shujin hadn't been extravagant and sold family secrets, the rich father's family would not have gone bankrupt. Now without this drag, the rich father's business is doing well, and he has been the richest man for 4 or 5 consecutive years. He has his own biological children, but he didn't treat me badly. After I graduated, he gave me a lot of property. I didn't let him down either. I created my own brand company. In just 5 years it was successfully listed, and my net worth soared to tens of billions. In turn, I can help my foster brothers and sisters. No other reason because I am strong enough. 10 years later, Jing Shujin was released, but the outside world had changed a lot. She couldn't keep up with the pace of the times and finally fell into the red light district. When I saw her again, I almost didn't recognize her. She stood at the intersection, enthusiastically promoting herself to the passing vehicles. When she saw me and Fu X, Yuan appear with the milky little dumplings, she could only watch from outside the car, staring at us fiercely. But alas, she can no longer touch me.